Dave Scott back with Barb from Dover Apothecary. Barb, it's great to see you. We're into September. Who knew? It's already here. Summer's sort of fading away quickly. And today we're going to talk a little about nutrition depletion. And I didn't realize how many different aspects of it. Like when you were explaining to me off air about medications and just diets, and I didn't understand all that. Like how you can be robbed of your nutrition so easily. The nutritional values, and you need to supplement with that. So I'm kind of doing your job here. Maybe I should let you explain it. I'm not very good at it.
Well, you know what? The questions and the dialogue, it's always a good thing. And it's very true that there are a huge number of variables that come down to the available nutrients at the cellular level. And we often don't think about the medications that we're on as being something that can actually be depleting specific nutrients. And oftentimes that's why people have what they consider to be side effects from their medications. And it's not so much that the medication is doing something wrong to them, but it's actually just that they don't have enough specific nutrients to keep those symptoms from occurring. So that's something that we really like, both in my home office practice and at the apothecary, is to visit that with people and look at the medications that they're on to say, okay, these are the food sources you can get that from, or this is the supplement that you're going to require because you won't be able to get enough from your food sources for a variety of reasons. And when we look at people's everyday diets, we talked about better than last month, and that was a really, really great topic, and really seemed to resonate with people. That, you know, when we start to address our daily diet and strive for those better than moments and those baby steps towards better nutrition, that can really help to guard us against those nutrient depletions. Anybody that's active in sports, and if you perspire a lot, your minerals are going to be depleted a lot more easily than somebody that's not that active. So we have to find ways to replace those. There are things that if somebody's on reverse osmosis water and certain water filtration systems, they're not getting enough minerals because the water that they're drinking is bereft of those. And your cells, as the energy for everything that happens in your body, every metabolic process, if it doesn't have those minerals, then any number of things can go wrong for people, whether it's headaches, whether it's cramping, swelling, fatigue, the list goes on and on. Perhaps they're getting little heart arrhythmias or having problems with forgetfulness, and it can all be to do with that lack of nutrients in the system. And it's why in my practice, I really like to do a nutrient assessment with people right off the bat, especially if they've been on a lot of medications or alluded to the fact that their diet hasn't been particularly strong over the years.
Can you give us a couple examples, like when you're saying about medications and nutritional deficiencies? Like, is it like, I don't know, like, can you give me an example of what that might be? Like, is there a real common one you might see?
One of the most common, actually, and when you look at the number of people that are on statin medications for cholesterol or perhaps blood pressure medication, is they cannibalize a nutrient called coenzyme Q10. And that one in and of itself is majorly responsible it's our energy spark plug in our system. It works at the mitochondrial cellular level in our bodies. So depletions of that can affect people's energy levels. It can, if they're finding they're getting a lot of muscle pain and joint pain and cramping when they're on that medication, or perhaps some forgetfulness, it's because usually there's a depletion of that nutrient. So that's one that we really, really urge people to consider taking a therapeutic dosage of, because it's not one that you can easily get in your food sources. Another one is for any young woman that is on birth control and considering becoming pregnant down the road, is folic acid. Well, we know about neural tube defects in the first trimester of pregnancy. And it's often because the mom doesn't have enough of that folic acid in her system, which may have been caused by that depletion of being on birth control and not maybe taking a proper maternity vitamin or a multivitamin or folic acid supplementation during the course of using that medication. And, we look at antibiotics, right? They do kill off bacteria, but they also kill off your friendly bacteria. So if you're not replacing that with a probiotic down the road, then you can have a sort of a chronic dysbiosis in your intestinal tract and be prone to yeast infections or thrush, that type of thing. So there's always sort of a check safe. And I really encourage people, to come in and to review those things with us and see whether there are areas that they need to either A, step up their nutrition, or B, get on a high quality supplement that will actually correct or reduce the risk of that deficiency.
When you're doing the secondary, when you were talking a little bit about cholesterol medicines and Q10, is there a domino effect? Like what I mean by that is, so I have stints. So maybe I should be I take cholesterol medicine. Maybe I should be taking Q10. But is that safe to take with that scenario? You know what I mean? Like, is there a domino effect where all of a sudden you're like, 6 supplements in because you can't to counterbalance all these other things?
I think less so nowadays with the quality of supplements that are on the market, because there are companies, if you're just going into, a big box store and buying anything off the shelf, you're not normally buying a product that has the efficacy to actually exact a difference on your condition. And so there are companies and products out there that make professional brands that are actually of therapeutic value, and they have a balance of other nutrients in there as well, because they understand there's a critical interplay between those nutrients to, there are some that are specifically designed for the cardiovascular system overall. So you're going to have a balance of some of your specific B vitamins, as well as the CoQ10, as well as some magnesium. There's sort of a more blanketed approach of very therapeutic replacement. So again, it depends on having that dialogue with somebody that has professional background, not just on the conditions, but also on what's available in the supplement world. And that's something we carry a great array. I carry them in my home office as well as at the Apothecary, but we really focus on therapeutic brand products and making sure that people are not buying something that's essentially useless for their system. They need to understand how much they need to understand how to time their nutrients as well. If you take all of your supplements along with your prescription medications, you can actually cause a lot of contraindications, or you can make your supplements basically useless, because if you take that CoQ10 at the same time you've taken your statin medication, it's kind of like Pac-Man. It's just going to gobble that nutrient up and use it all up. So timing away from things is critically important. Minerals such as calcium and iron, they don't play well together. We need to keep those apart. We definitely need to keep calcium away from your prescription medications by several hours. And so there's a lot to learn in that regard, a lot of responsibility on ourselves, because, people are busy nowadays, busier probably more than ever when you're going into a pharmacy. A lot of pharmacists are often helping to fill that gap for people not being able to get in to see a doctor, or for those that don't have a doctor. So that pharmacist may not necessarily have the time to go over that. So if you understand the questions to ask, that's empowering, but don't put it on to somebody else to have that responsibility for you. Ask those tough questions, really learn about your health, and when you're educated and empowered and you're stepping into that, all you're going to be is healthier advisor for it. And that's something that, we really each need to be, because we're not getting younger, but we can get better. We can certainly get healthier and more knowledgeable.
Awesome. Thanks for doing this today. A lot of information. So they can give you a shout. They can stop by the apothecary, but get an assessment done, basically, correct?
Definitely. Yeah, it's, the reason why I do most of the consultations out of my home office is because it is such a busy place at the apothecary.
Yeah.
And to truly give people the time that they deserve and really get background information that we need, that tends to be the best way that people can get the help they actually need.
Okay.
And yeah, we're there for our community. It's what we love to do. And I do invite you to pop in. A lot of times, if people come for a consultation, they'll bring their bag of supplements, and we go over everything that they've got there to say yes, no, what dose, the timing, all of those things. So we're here for you, and it's an honor to serve.
Thanks, Barb. Thanks for doing this today. Have a great week, and we'll catch up with you next month, okay?
Sounds great, Dave. Thank you.